Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. Champions League celebration.
Oh.
uh, World Cup talk. It's all happening. There's EPL news already.
Finally.
Kinda.
Yeah, we'll call it news.
Things are happening.
The new.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to always dissect some things with you and get it all out there.
I know you want to vent. I got a shoulder for you to cry on. But hey, actually, I don't think you need to cry much. Right?
Yeah. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, let's get into Champions League. Why don't you take me through the morning feeling? Because I saw you live. You were kind of bouncing around, and then it was a lock in for 10 minutes. And you're like, let's cook breakfast.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Like I told you when you got here, like the whole week I was just riding high in the vibes and feeling good, feeling confident. It wasn't until I turned on that Champions League stream and it's, just pre-match at this point that I was like getting a little nervous. I keep walking around and fiddle with this, get this drink, whatever. Which I think is understandable.
Oh, I mean, I get why you cook bread. It's a great distraction from the I don't want to call it a potential downfall that could happen, but call it like it is. You're up 1-0 6 minutes in. That feels pretty damn good. That is a great feeling.
It took a lot of weight off, that's for sure.
Yeah, honestly, it was a surprise, I think, to most of how I don't want to call the goal that was scored was easy, but the process leading up to Havertz's goal was that's all Arsenal had to do to get one by PSG.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not I know that we were we maybe didn't realize the goal went in, and I've seen a lot of people say that both that were there and were watching elsewhere. Like no one really expected. I don't think a lot of people expected him to take a shot, and I don't think a lot of people realized it went in. I think everyone thought it hit side netting. So yeah, I mean, it's a moment you want to have for your team in the final. An early goal, a banger like that. Yeah, just dice through the PSG team like it was nothing. I thought, here we go.
This is our day.
Bread and butter, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think this game maybe played out. I don't want to say expected, because I feel like a lot of people were thinking PSG was going to come in and just steamroll Arsenal. But I'm not surprised by how Arsenal played. Like, this has been what they've done all season, right? Like, get a lead and defend. And I understand letting PSG have a lot of the ball because they're going to hit you on the counters. So let them have the ball, make them work for it. And I think you saw that whole first half it worked. Arsenal looked, I think, maybe not better team, but at least the team in control and the team with the game plan that was working.
PSG was trying to force so much.
Yeah, I felt like PSG almost tried to change the way they normally play for some reason, which, Arsenal was never going to do. That's not how they won the Premier League. It's, why change it for this final? That said, I do think there needs to be some changes, moving forward. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at how Arsenal played. I'm not surprised either. I think some of the subs are like my weird questions, maybe.
Which ones in specific?
I understand you want to get Gyökeres on, and I think Havertz stays on, one, because he already scored, and two, he's been here with Chelsea before, so he has that experience. But I think taking Odegaard off, even though he wasn't maybe on his best game, that's not only a creative outlet, but he's so key to that frontline press.
Well, taking him off was weird. If I don't mind jumping in, he's the one that I would say most Arsenal players are looked to get the ball to.
Yeah.
He comes off at it was the 66th minute.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we were kind of in and out of being able to watch. Who was Arsenal going to at that point to, I guess, facilitate the attack if there was one?
I mean, it was at this point, PSG had adjusted, so they were making it pretty difficult for Arsenal to get through. So it was a lot of like long ball play, which while Kai is tall and Gyökeres is tall, like that's just not really the game that this team is used to playing or wants to play.
For sure. And I noticed when we were doing stats that Raya had one of the most long ball attempts I've seen when doing keepers. I mean, he had over, I believe, 30. And usually he's not one to be blasting long balls, right? Arsenal's going to play out the back, but they weren't going to, definitely weren't attempting that very much this game.
Yeah. And then, the Bukayo Saka sub at the 83rd minute kind of makes sense because Saka wasn't really getting a lot done. But again, it's just one of those like key players who have been in high pressure games before. I don't know, maybe you try and just move him inside or swap sides or something, just change it up and see if he can get something going. I understand why Madueke came in. He's willing to take those defenders on and dribble into the box, and did, and almost got awarded a penalty for it. So I think the Odegaard one was the big question mark one of, I don't know that he needed to come off then necessarily. Like, I think you maybe could have either just swapped Havertz and Gyökeres, or I don't know, try something else. And Lewis Skelly he's playing well in the midfield, but maybe you try 10-15 minutes of just kind of Declan and Odegaard, and then you can still try your Havertz and Gyökeres up top. And I mean, I'm not overly surprised the subs didn't work, because it was moving the team into a shape and play style that they haven't utilized all season.
Right.
So it was new. It was I saw the vision of just get more attackers on, but it just didn't really pan out. But I mean, even beyond then, I think Arsenal kind of stayed in it as much as they could. But I think PSG, once they got their penalty goal and had tweaked their tactics and honestly just started to play more like they regularly play. It was just, the game got a little too open for Arsenal, I think. And, Bradley Barcola came on and he was making sprints past Saliba over and over, which we know now Saliba may have been maybe already carrying a little injury or picked something up during the game.
Right.
But there are definitely some moments where PSG would have looked back on some of these breakaways had they not won this and been really pounding their heads against the wall, because there was probably 2 or 3 times that they should have been in or were in, and David Raya steps up and did what he's been doing all season, making big saves. And then we get to the penalty kicks and it's just a crapshoot at that point. So
how'd you feel going in? Because I thought, honestly, you heard me say 1-1 before the game started. I was like, this is going to be a PK game, and I was like, I think Arsenal could edge PSG out in the PKs, because it is a crapshoot, and I feel like Raya just finds a way to get saves in, which he was still able to do here. Y'all were just kind of let down. I mean, honestly, to say it bluntly, that's not the PK you want Eze taken.
Yeah. I think it seems like a pretty widely accepted opinion for any PK taker with the stutter steps. Like, if it works, cool, but when it doesn't work, it's like just shoot the ball, just blast the ball in, pass the ball if you want. But the whole stutter step thing, I feel like just leaves too much up to chance already on what is like a 50-50 kind of shot, right? Yeah, I mean, that one hurt, but then you're kind of right back in it. Luckily, with um, Nuno Mendes missing his, and then it's feeling good. I think everyone is surprised to see Gabrielle take up for or walk
Yeah.
up and take that last one.
So, likewise, I mean, I feel like there were still decent options out there from Madueke to even Zupamendi. Uh, has Gabriel taken a PK all year? I assume not. There's no reason for
Not
him
that I've
to.
seen. Yeah.
I mean, has he even shot the ball like that all year? That would be the
I
bigger
mean,
question. He's heading. He's how many? He plenty of header goals, right?
yeah,
But how
I've
many
seen
has he hidden?
maybe a handful of hit shots, but it's from outside the box, and maybe a little bit of just like a hopeful shot. So it was a surprise, but I think it's either. I think probably both. They had talked about this in all the training leading up to it, and then on the day, I think Gabriel's always going to be one to throw his name in the hat for any pressure moment.
Sure.
Um, does he need to be fifth? I don't know. I don't
That's a
know.
that's a big pressure spot for sure.
Yeah. Like I understand, getting off the block with Jokeres right away, but that guy's in penalty situations so much more often. I feel like you probably keep him as your fifth. Um, I don't know if you move Gabrielle to first taker, but yeah, and that's also just like kind of calls back to the subs. Like, Bukayo Saka's been our taker, if not Jokeres or Odegaard. So like, there's two that are off the pitch already, which like fair enough. There might have been some fatigue in there or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but um, yeah, I think it's just for me it was the subs that kind of really swayed this game, as well as just how this Arsenal team has been playing. Like we're a very defensive team, which is fine. Like it obviously worked in the Premier League and got us over the line. But I think here in the Champions League, and especially the final, you do need to have that other trick you can turn to if things turn south and you need to find goals, or you know you got to be able to switch it up and have a reliable tactic or couple of players you can put in to make something happen, which didn't exactly work out. But hey, this is where teams want to be. You want to be in the final. I get it. Winning it is probably glorious. I don't know, but uh, I can't be like overly disappointed or sad about it. Like you got the Premier League title under the belt, got to the final after over the past 4 years progressing one stage further basically each time. And look, this is a team that had a lot of second place finishes and then finally got over it. So they're a team that has learned, I think, to take some disappointments, some defeats, and be able to turn that into fuel and fire and desire, I guess, for following seasons. So kind of like we said last time, the team has a good base to build from already here. I'm hoping next season we can get a little bit better balance of that strong defensive unit that we've had, but bring in some of that like 22, 23, 23, 24 like all out attack vibe as well. And just if maybe not like always both going at full steam, but be able to kind of flip a switch at some point in games and just
Sure.
do the attack, and then we can park the bus and hold it out like we know we can. So yeah, I've seen all the meltdowns on YouTube. I've seen all the banter. Everyone wants to talk shit. I get it, but hey, I'm happy Arsenal is here. I'm happy I got to see an Arsenal goal in the Champions League final. Who knows if we'll be back? I hope we will.
I mean, you guys, I don't think this is the peak for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously making the Champions League final while winning the Premier League is a tough task to beat again.
Yeah.
right? To do that again next year would be incredible, to essentially repeat the success you had. But you're not wrong in the fact that, you know, these losses are really just big learning opportunities and how to figure out what to do to improve. And they've been a beast. They've been a different
Yeah.
beast. No one's beaten them the last 2 years. I mean, it's an incredible squad that I think is going to get broken up at some point, mostly because of their ages and the contracts that are going to be out there. So that's going to be an interesting club to watch, to see who kind of picks off of them and what key pieces move. But I mean, Arsenal, I think their next goal here is to, you know, no pun intended, but to find a goal scorer who can consistently put up 20 goals a season. Gyökeres got what, I think it was 14 is what I saw. And
In the league, yeah.
in the league, right? What do you have total?
Total, I think it was like 21, but
okay. But a lot of those weren't from open play, so I'm thinking like
Yeah.
that's the next step, right? Is
Yeah.
how do you get more open play goals if you can't just rely on PKs? Who's out there? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
Alvarez is kind of catching Arsenal's attention, but it looks like he might be going to Barcelona. I mean,
I've seen Krupi's name thrown out, but I saw Bournemouth wants, I think, 150 million or something for him. Which I'm sure Arsenal, after, you know, all the winnings of this season, could splash that cash, but I don't think they will.
Right. Not
Yeah,
yet.
I think I need them to figure out a way to get Saka a little more space. Like, I always say move him inside a little bit more, but I get why you keep him outside to widen the pitch, but he just gets stuck out there, and it's so hard for him to get in sometimes. And then you have these games where like he seems ineffective because it's hard to cut in all the time. And you know, he's not a Robin where he can just always make that cut and everyone always falls for it.
I truly haven't seen Saka run like in a long time, like an actual driven run. He gets the ball and he has someone in front of him 95% of the time, and he kind of has to either pass it, give it and go, something like that, but never truly running down the line, the line, and then trying to find a cross or a cut in. He's in an interesting spot, that's for sure. Not a bad one though. It's just interesting.
No. Yeah, and I will say, you know, all the talk of Arsenal wasting time and this and that, and the ref blowing the final corner of the first half because Arsenal's taking too long. I went back and watched that thing. From time that ball goes out of play to, you don't exactly see him hear the whistle, so I'm going off of what I think is the ref's whistle. It was like 30 seconds. I think that's an acceptable amount of time to like get over and take a corner.
Was the ball at the flag at the 30-second mark?
It was already down. Saka's like ready to takes a step back to start kicking it. So, you know, I get you don't want to drag things out, especially since technically you're past, you know, the added time at that point. But I don't know. It feels silly to call the corner and then expect a team to run over in, you know, 10 seconds and
that, and it's going to be halftime right after this. So it's like, you're not really wasting time for the second half.
Yeah.
It definitely felt a little, you're not listening to me, so I'm just going to blow it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
maybe
the play prior though, Arsenal was there. That was the play I think that caused this play to have the whistle blown for him. Cause maybe they were wasting time because there was still time remaining, in the injury time. But yeah, the corner kick getting blown dead and moving on. You almost think, would that have happened at PSG if they had taken the same amount of time on that, just the corner? Don't focus on the play prior, the corner. No, I don't think so. Right?
Yeah,
I don't think you're blowing it for PSG in that situation.
And how many times were we just in that first half watching, and you know, PSG players are throwing the ball away or kicking the ball away?
Sure. I mean,
like I get that's a dumb rule. You know, Arsenal's been affected by that. I don't really like that ruling anyway, but like, just to put all the blame on Arsenal for wasting time, and it was like, sure, I'm sure they wasted more time than PSG, but
right.
You know, every team is doing it. It's just, that's the name of the game these days is, you know, use the time to your advantage. So whatever.
It's not why y'all lost. I mean, the PK
Yeah.
situation is, I don't know. It came down to what I thought it was going to come down to, and it was a defensive unit versus a crazy attack heavy team. And it's funny, I saw someone call out an analyst saying if Arsenal had free flowing football, they would have gotten destroyed this game. And I'm like, yeah, that's why.
Okay, yeah.
That's exactly why they didn't do that in this game with the PKs. I was like, what a terrible take that was. I'll have to find that post and send it to you. But it was like,
I mean, we all saw the PSG and Bayern game. Like, you don't want to go free flow against this PSG team.
Yeah, and like exactly. And if you did, that's probably what would happen. And I would argue worse. I don't think Arsenal scoring 3 or 4 goals against that team, against this PSG team. You played exactly. Arsenal played the exact way they should have played this game.
Mm-hmm.
Call it boring, whatever. Call it whatever you want, what you want to call it. They got to. I mean, do they want to get to PKs? Probably not. But if you were to say at the beginning of this game, we're going to go to PKs, I think Arsenal would have taken that deal.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, especially if you include, Arsenal go up first, like 6 minutes in, you know?
I mean, to not allow PSG to have an open play goal, crazy.
Yeah.
When's the last time that's happened? I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
No.
So, you know, for PSG to come in last year and destroy Inter Milan 5-0, and for this year, for them to take on Arsenal in their, oh God, this couldn't have been their first ever final.
Arsenal?
Yeah.
No, but it's been like 20
years 80s
or
or something. Yeah. So, I mean, PSG has been how many times to the finals in the last like decade? Well, Arsenal really hasn't been. And then, of course, winning last year with a exact replica, you could call it, of their team outside of Donnarumma.
Yeah.
And still being here, it's a good season. It's a proud moment. I would say just don't feel like you peaked too soon, because when Tottenham got there a couple years ago, that was Tottenham's peak, right? We could all agree on that. Is that Champions League final in that season was definitely one of their best seasons they've ever had. Now Arsenal has a lot to go off, a lot of momentum, and now the EPL is, look at this transition, completely changed from final match day 38 to what it is right now.
Yeah.
The power rankings, I don't know. I was honestly, the last day of the season when the board was pretty much saying Arne Slot's our guy, I had to mentally agree with it, right? I'm like, okay, things are going to change. Mo Salah isn't there anymore. Hopefully our guys come back from injury and are okay. But what is going to be the difference here? What can Slot do to prove that we need to retool this squad to get it to the way of his liking? So at that point, I was honestly like, all right, if the board is buy it and the fans can't do anything about it, let's try to buy in. And then, I mean, it seemed like Konate didn't sign his deal, and then that was the catalyst to Slot leaving. And I wonder if the board was like, we can't even get our free agent guy who said he was going to sign here to sign.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has to be something. This has to be locker room oriented or something along those lines. So for him to get the axe on that day was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we like? Was I upset that Slot got canned? No, I'm more upset at the fact that we keep changing our words. We keep saying we're going to do things, and then we don't do that thing. So it's like, it's a big, what are we doing here? What's this all about? And so now with Irola, on deck circle, kind of waiting, I'm trying not to get too excited, but I am excited. I'm watching a lot of videos. I'm seeing his training sessions, and it looks nothing like Slot's. It's very press oriented and like being smarter.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at the way Bournemouth played in the last 3 seasons.
Oh yeah.
How could you not want the guy who's been leading that team with I'm not calling that team in any way average, because they're not. Look at where they are in the standings, but nowhere do they have the talent that I think Liverpool possesses.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can unlock that a little bit, figure out how to get Isak on the run instead of just standing in the box waiting for a pass to get some movement going. I'm excited. I'm excited to see who he can potentially, bring in, who's going to leave. I'm hoping this unlocks McAllister a little bit more and gets him back on track. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. And I think this new assignment of coaches to these top tier clubs outside of Arteta is going to be a fascinating one, because now, like, everyone's circling Arsenal. There isn't a circle on City right now. There isn't a circle on Liverpool. It is everyone's eyes are on Arsenal, which is, I mean, that's got to feel good for you, but in a way kind of scary. Like, we're all gunning for you now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just feels good knowing that Pep is not around to cause issue, which, like, not to say any of these other managers could, you know, they could pick up that title of most annoying, but
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. You know, Arsenal and Arteta, I think, have shown that if you can, you know, build the right project and, you know, suffer through some disappointing moments, you know, it can pay off in the end. And I think a lot of other clubs will look at that and be hoping to replicate something of that. You know, I think your Chelseas of the world are still going to be a manager roulette, because there just seems to be something about them. They don't like to suffer too much, which I get, but I'm interested to see if with Alonso, if they give him more time and, you know, players that he wants and build a team. You know, Carrick staying at United, I think, is probably the smartest move United has made in a long time.
Yep.
You know, he's able to get that team playing well by, I think, just playing players in their normal preferred positions, and it worked well enough. We'll see if he can, you know, push it to the next level. But yeah, I think if Areola goes to Liverpool and can bring some of that energy he got out of Bournemouth, it won't be like Klopp Liverpool, but I think you'll be a menace again of just like a lot of high pressing, a lot of quick passing, a lot of getting, you know, your runners on the ball.
Wirtz won't be collecting the ball at half. That's what's going to happen here. And so, like, I think that was probably the biggest thing with Slot, is like he was just using his players incorrectly. And why?
Yeah.
Because he still had players from the leftover era in there, I guess. And so it was probably causing a little bit of a position conflict and you know, did he want to make Mo happy while trying to adapt to the system? Possibly, but I mean, I hate the international break. I hated the international break this last year because I saw every single Liverpool play almost flourish, and it made no sense. It was like, so this isn't like a player thing. It didn't feel like a player thing. No. It felt like a pure tactical and position awareness. And so I'm hoping that changes. The only, like, if I'm going to say 10 good things, I got to throw a bad thing in here. Do you remember when Graham Potter went to Chelsea and the hype around that? This is like, that's my one, like,
there is
back of my head fear of, like, is this going to be one of those situations? And if it starts bad, what happens? And I just, how much Graham Potter got? What, 3 months, if that?
Something like that. Yeah.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah. And
I think Liverpool, since we had such a weird year this year, will give this more time than what Slot got, because Slot won the league, right?
Yeah.
Should do that again. It's basically what everyone said, and then he did not do that again.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, players came and went, but I think we'll get a little more leeway here. I think Liverpool is probably one of the more forgiving clubs with their fans and their managers. I mean, when Klopp came in, right, it wasn't a beautiful pasture of goals and free-flowing play. It took a year or two to figure that out. And then look at it. Amazing football. Something we'll never forget. Is Iraola the same type of manager as Klopp? No. Does he have the same, like, resume as him? Not really. He got Dortmund to some pretty cool places when he was there. But the I think the fans, and it seemed like the players too, just needed some type of change. So for them to not go with Slot this year, it sucks. He won our 20th title. I wish him the best. I think he will do well in other leagues. I think there's a chance he goes and coaches the Netherlands team after this World Cup. I think AC Milan is knocking on his door. So like, there's definitely other places where he can go and find success. I just think with the way Liverpool needed the future to go, he just wasn't showing signs of change.
Yeah, and I think it was going to be hard to follow up Klopp too with not only his play and tactics, but just like the energy he brought to the club, and that just wasn't Slot. And
No,
like you kind of complained the whole season about just like him not really celebrating goals and stuff.
He was a hands in the pocket type of guy.
Yeah, which like it has no bearing on your managerial ability, but
players feed off of it though.
Players feed off of it, fans too. Like, when Arteta gets a lot of stick for being too active in his box or out of his box, but like, I don't know any Arsenal fan that hates that. Like, and all the opposing fans that have an issue with it, who fucking cares?
Yeah,
like, it's the manager running on the sideline. Like, it means nothing. So yeah, I don't think Areola is that same energy level, but from the times I've seen him at Bortman when they're pulling off big wins or playing really well, he does have a good energy about him.
How can you not be excited? How can you not be?
You have to kind of take that and look. We'll throw it back to the all or nothing Arsenal. We're all holding hands, turning on the light bulb because we got all this energy.
It was almost a blessing and a curse that Slot won the Premier League with this first year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
You won it. You got complacent. Everything kind of falls apart around you. And you're like, well, I already won one.
I wonder if like at the end of that season, he went back and was looking over his notes or whatever. He's like, I didn't really have to do much. Like this team and Salah just cooked.
I mean, you do look back at that and you are, I mean, comparing that year to last year, it's definitely like you had to change something because you lost players, right? You lost Trent. Yeah. You lost Diaz. You had to change some tactics. And I felt like he got what he wanted in the first 5 matches, kind of got really lucky. Mm-hmm. And then it all just fell apart from there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We move on. It's I'm looking forward to the season much more now than I was 2 weeks ago because I had a lot more question marks. I still have question marks, don't get me wrong, but there are way more what is going to happen in October.
Yeah,
than there is now.
That's the thing too. Is like I think it's perfect to do this kind of thing. I mean, it should have been done a little earlier, but do it at the start of summer. Don't waste the whole transfer window on a guy. Yeah, you're just going to let go in October, which I guess could still happen technically, but
it could. I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either. But if you can get him in, and he can start the planning through summer and World Cup and preseason and all that, like I think Areola should be able to have at least a acceptable start, and maybe even better than that. Like I think he can do it. I think it's just if he can get players in like their preferred positions and spaces, mm-hmm. like you got so much talent in that squad, especially the attacking ends. Like you should be the PSG of Premier League, basically, just steamrolling teams with all your attacking options. And I just want to see a Verts Szoboszlai like double 10 action. Let's just let them cook back there.
You look at the names on paper and you go, damn, this team could do something crazy. They very well could. And the Doc Ock memes, man, how did I not see that? It's the same person. Yeah. The Liverpool fan base definitely online is buying into this. So he's got that going for him. If you got the fans behind you, man, good things can come. And again, fans were behind Slot for a chunk. I mean, we wanted to push through. We wanted to figure it out. Couldn't do it. Couldn't figure it out. So we'll see what signings look like over the summer. Konate looks like he's going to Madrid.
Yeah.
Brother, I am worried for him. I really am. Liverpool fans put up with it because like we really had no one else and we needed to. I don't think Madrid fans are gonna. I don't know. I just don't think he fits what they want and what they've had in the past. It's an
I mean,
interesting move.
you even see how, Trent has kind of.
He's gone. He's out of rotation. It's crazy.
That's it. Like the fans didn't really take to him.
Well,
Madrid had a turbulent year.
I mean, he's got to deal with Mourinho now, dude.
Yeah.
That is a. I mean, Madrid is almost must watch again, but for all the wrong reasons.
I think so. Yeah.
Mourinho over there is going to be a trip. I mean,
yeah.
It'll
be interesting. I don't think he's as like. I think he's just a different crazy than he was before. Like from some of the stories that came out of his time in Turkey and stuff.
Yeah. He's getting into his old man crazy now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's not going to be so much him running or poking anyone's eyes out. It's going to be all like, I don't know, mental games. It's going to be interesting what that locker room looks like, especially post World Cup when they all start to group back up. And I'm sure if Vinny or Mbappe have strange World Cups and they don't take to Mourinho, could we see some crazy transfer requests in the winter or Mourinho out? It's going to be Mourinho out first, I imagine, if things don't go the way it's supposed to go. But yeah, man, it's the World Cup feels like such a bubble of like positivity and like ignorance to everything that's happening at these clubs. But it's once the World Cup ends, dude, it's gonna go straight back to chaos for I feel like a chunk of these clubs. So that's what I'm looking forward to when we start our season. But World Cup's here. I'm starting to get excited because there's no way this thing is getting canceled.
I already built a Lego.
Oh, dude.
So I'm ready to go.
You're in it. You're in it. Where'd you get that Lego? That thing's sick.
I think the Lego store. I don't know. My brother needed to spend another $12 to hit some reward goal, and this was like $20, so he got it for me. But yeah, it was cool. It kind of helped bring that excitement, as well as seeing all the squads get confirmed.
Yeah.
Watching USA play well, I think helped build some more excitement for me.
Against the AFCON champion runner-ups, if we want to call them that. I don't know what to call it. I was like, so are they... Will FIFA...
Co-champions.
What is FIFA going to call them? What are announcers going to call them at AFCON? We need to make... You know what we need to do, Chad? We need to make a World Cup bingo sheet for our weekend.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to see... Because I felt like FIFA... Yeah, I think FIFA officially like gave the final win back to Morocco, but then last I heard Senegal wasn't giving the trophy back.
No,
or anything. So I don't.
How do they get that back? How does he?
I don't know. It's gone now. No one's ever seen it.
Probably, yeah.
You walk up to any Senegal player or employee and said, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yep. My lips are sealed.
So, yeah, I haven't looked at the table and brackets enough to see if we can get a rematch in the World Cup, but I can hope so.
You can. There is a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be deep.
Yeah.
But there is a way. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
Because FIFA should be doing everything they can to make that happen. Like, you want to try and sell some tickets to a World Cup game? There it is.
So they could only face each other in the knockout stages if both team advance. Sure. I think I don't have it with me. You'd have to do some math on where they'd have to finish in the groups to like match up. But there is a possibility.
Excellent.
Yeah, it would be probably outside of the finals and maybe like crazy Argentina-Brazil matchups, the most watched game. And not because of the quality of football or even the players on the pitch. It's a straight... I don't know what would happen.
I feel like it would be... think it'd be a very physical game. I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in there, and you know,
Love to see it. Love
just be
to see it.
nonsense. But what more could you want from a World Cup game that isn't the final, right? Like,
Yeah, this is as a neutral, this is the matchup you want. 100%. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find where it was on Reddit. Someone like did the math on like where they could match up. Yeah, I'll look for it. But yeah, I'm excited. June 11th is when we begin. Fantasy will be rocking and rolling. Pick'em, Survivor, lots of games. It's how are you feeling on our boys in USA?
I think okay.
So let's look at our group. We got Group D, which is not a easy group by all means.
No.
Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Turkey being the bottom ranked, which
that's crazy.
Let's argue they could be top in this group.
Yeah. Well, bottom ranked, I think they certainly pose a threat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think squad is decent. I know there's some talk of, some players that made it in and some that missed out. Honestly, I don't keep up enough with MLS to know some of these players well enough to have an opinion if they should make it or not. But I think my worry is like, there was so much promise around Gio Reyna last time, and it kind of never came to fruition. Maybe he's had a better time since then in club football. I again, haven't really followed, but I hope he can do something. Like the times he has shown us what he's capable of, it's that, creative spark that I think this team will need. Honestly, I think a lot of this team will live and die by Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie. If they can run that midfield and find some good balls and good outlets, Pulisic is still showing that he can do it.
Right. Robinson too. If we could unlock Robinson on the wing,
Robinson's big. Yeah.
If he saved all of his energy this year from playing, I mean, he didn't play much at Fulham, and it wasn't by his choice. If he could unlock what he was 2-3 years ago here, just for 5-6 games, man.
Yeah.
To dream. I'm gonna that first game, if they do something kind of crazy and show me something, I'll dream a little. I will.
And that's the thing is being an Arsenal fan, I've been dreaming for a long time, and one of these dreams finally came to fruition. So, United States, get out there, play some good footy. Let us dream a little more.
You know what, too, is probably gonna screw up these teams that American players, we can call it Canadian, Mexican players, too, is the travel, right?
Yeah.
These tournaments in other regions or other World Cups, you're not traveling that far.
No.
Here, you can, I mean, depending on how they split up the teams in the games, they're not going to travel a huge distance. But once we get to knockouts, like, you could have a game in Dallas, and all of a sudden you got to go to New York. Oh, yeah. New York, I don't know I don't know the logistics of how they set it up. I hope they did it in a way where they're not traveling thousands of miles in a short amount of time. But that is the biggest advantage that I think our homegrown talent has, is that they're used to this. This is nothing new. We look at the size of the United States, and it's comparable from Western UK to Turkey. That's the size we're working with here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's wild from a fan point of view. You're not going to really be able to follow your team from city to city, but that's our advantage. But these groups, man, this 48 teams is nuts. I mean, what type of quality are we going to see from the Uzbekistans, the Jordans, right?
Yeah.
It's I think we're going to see a lot of ass kicking in the group stages, right? Honestly, outside of our group, I think our group is probably one of the tougher ones from top to bottom. But I just can't imagine, Switzerland struggling against Qatar and Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina, right?
Yeah.
They'll be okay. But I imagine Qatar is not. If Qatar scores or wins or draws anything, I think that'll be a surprise to most, considering what they did 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think, well, it's, great to have a lot of countries here for the first time or first time in a long time. I do think FIFA will have to keep a close eye on it to make sure the level of the product is
Yep.
acceptable for, the biggest tournament in the soccer world.
And for what you're charging.
And for what you're charging, especially. Because, yeah, the Santa Clara games is, I think the cheapest game there is between, who was it? Shoot. I want to say,
I saw 200.
I think it was 200, but I think the game was like maybe Algeria and Jordan or something, which, like, look, I'm sure, like, they're still professionals. They can put on a good game, but, like, neither of those teams necessarily scream World Cup level to me. Algeria, I know, has been around for a few World Cups and certainly caused some problems here and there before, but I'm wondering if after this World Cup, depending on how it kind of plays out, if FIFA looks at a different kind of playoff side tournament thing. Like, I know they, did kind of have that already, but I don't know if it needs to be expanded to all regions or formatted a different way. Just because, like, you want the best of the best countries here playing. A lot of those will be in Europe, sure, and you want to have a good spread across the board. But
You're telling me Italy can't go in and just dominate those teams?
yeah,
Like, I get Italy's just a great talking point, but like,
yeah,
come on, like everyone should have the opportunity.
hmm
But you're right, we do want the best there, and I do think Italy is probably the better team than Jordan, just in this case.
Jordan,
So
Curacao,
it's
Cabo Verde. No disrespect, but, like,
it's the World
eh,
Cup. It's the World
yes,
Cup,
yeah,
right? It's not the participation trophy cup. And like it sucks because you want representation, but the
yeah,
representation can be leading up to this, right? It's
absolutely, yeah.
get your squad to be able to qualify. How do they do it? Man, I don't know. Let's just make this thing world rankings.
Well, yeah,
Like let's go top to bottom, 1 to 48.
yeah.
Who makes those decisions? I don't know. They have to figure out some type of elo system and win loss rankings, but it's something that I do think this cup could bring out. You're absolutely right, especially if we see huge defeats. How embarrassing!
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
teams don't want to be embarrassed on the biggest tournament in the world either. Yeah, they'll be like,
No
"Oh,
way.
we're happy to be here." It's like, but do you feel like you completely earned it? That's the question I'd be asking. And yeah, of course they'll say yes because they qualified and whatnot. But it'll be ugly if a lot of teams, especially from that, we'll call it 40 to 30 to 48, that range, just get
Mhm.
annihilated. Because then what's the point of the group stages, right?
Yeah, and that too. Like, you
It's just a
want
waste of
competitive
time. It's
groups.
just a waste of
Yeah,
time.
and I'm just thinking, like, we've seen some shitty CONCACAF games where,
Yeah.
USA got to go to whatever country, and I mean, sometimes it's field is terrible, but, like, just overall play is just not good. It's so start and stop. It's a mess, and you don't want that on the biggest contest we have here. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm just hoping for some dark horses then at this point of, like,
Sure.
if you're a Jordan, I think probably fair to say a lot of people are writing you off already. So if you can use that to fuel a little cup run, take out some big names.
Don't take me out of context in that previous rant I just had. I want you to succeed. I
Oh
want
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
beat
yeah.
Spain. Find a
Yeah.
way to take down Germany. Like, sick. If you do that, FIFA just went, oh my God, this is amazing. We're going to continue with this product forever. I'm
Yeah.
just worried that's not going to happen because that is super unrealistic. But if a couple teams can figure that out, Morocco last time
Mhm.
around won how many fans over? But Morocco was an up and
Gosh.
coming team, right? They're one
Yeah.
of the top teams in Africa at the time. You could argue top 5, but we look at, I mean, let's just do it right now. Where do you think Qatar ranks in the world as far as everyone else in the world?
I don't know, like I'd say positively I'm thinking like 60s, but
Pretty
I'm
close.
feeling a little bit more towards like 70, 80.
They're 55th, but
Okay.
they're in between Chile and Romania. And it's like, okay, Chile is throwing out some amazing squads in the past.
Yeah.
And then Romania, yeah, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. But then underneath them, you have Iraq, and they're 57th. So it's just, again, those are FIFA rankings, but still, there are teams in the 60s.
Here you go. Curacao, rank 82.
New Zealand 85.
Haiti 83. Like, again, if you can get some big defeats and get a little run going, please, by all means, we all want it. But I do worry for some of these games I'll have to come up against.
Yeah, me too. Well, June 11th, it's go time.
Yep.
Who's your dark horse? Who's one you think is going to actually surprise some people and go deep in the bracket?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could call them a dark horse since they had to do the playoff and get in and everything. But Turkey, I think, can surprise. I want to say, I like what Austria has done in past Euros and stuff. I hope they can kind of bring out some of that fight again and get some surprises. But I think those are my two like kind of unknowns. I'll throw Norway in there just because they should, I think, at least make it out of groups. But I don't think they'll have the team to go all the way.
Ranked 31st.
Yeah. Decent. I mean, yeah, you got Holland, Odegaard, Damsgaard, the guards.
Oh, the guards. My must watches are gonna be Senegal, just because of
Absolutely
they got to be motivated coming into this thing, and I think they're gonna be fun to watch, considering how AFCON went. I think Scotland could be a fascinating one.
That's true.
Considering how they got there, it was kind of like, I won't call it super luck of the draw, but they have players who show up in big moments. So that'll be one that I got my eye on. And then Sweden. I feel like Sweden always throws out. Sweden, I don't remember the last time Sweden made the World Cup, but they've always been right on the cusp of it. And now that they have this opportunity, I want to see what they can do. Zlatan, did he ever make the World Cup? In our time, I don't think he ever did.
No, I think he might have been in one, or I might be thinking of Euros, but
he played in 2006.
Oh,
but that was young Zlatan. That wasn't really prime Zlatan yet. So has Sweden made the World Cup since then?
Maybe not. I mean, because Zlatan would have certainly been on the team had they made it.
Very true. 2018. They reached the quarterfinals in Russia. Don't recall it. They were eliminated by England. And now, wow, let's just go full circle here, Chad. Maybe end the podcast here. Graham Potter, coach of the Swedish team. I didn't realize that now, but you know what? We're rooting for Graham. Let's see what he can do out there. This couldn't be his comeback on a national stage, and maybe some teams go, we'll give him another shot. I just don't see national team managers sticking around for. They do this for the World Cup, and they're gonna bounce. Pochettino's definitely in that category. I don't see him sticking around for however our team does. Win or lose, he's probably out. I imagine Ancelotti, same deal. Their goal is the World Cup and succeed in it. So we'll see what happens post tournament. But you got a winner?
Yeah.
You want to circle a winner?
A winner?
Yeah.
Oof. um, I mean, I think France is still scary. Spain, I think, can certainly do it. Um, England has the players, but I feel like I almost never see them all mesh well together come tournament time. And they had some good Euro runs and everything, but I don't know. I think just World Cup England gets a little dicey
A little
sometimes.
shaky. The pressure's on. So
um,
who you circling? Circle one.
if I had to circle one, I think I'm gonna go. I think Spain.
Great shout. They won Euros. Their squad has probably one of the best players in the entire world in Yamal.
Yeah.
You're going young winner. I'm gonna go old winner. I'm gonna go
Ooh.
Portugal. I think this
They.
is a
I was
mic drop
thinking though.
situation for Ronaldo.
See, they are in my head, but I think they find success through not utilizing Ronaldo a lot.
I don't see now. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Ronaldo is going to be carrying this team. I just think they're very well rounded. I think they
Yeah.
have a little bit of everything in the biggest way possible, and it feels like this is their ceiling, right? It feels like remember when Belgium was coming up, and like this is it for Belgium.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this is it for Portugal, but I feel like their most creative players, their best players are right on that 28, 29, 30 stage. And then when we do this again in 4 years, it'll be too late. So I think this is go time for them.
I think, yeah, I like their team. They're like you said, kind of really well balanced. I think it just has to be Ronaldo doesn't have to be the first name on the team sheet.
For sure.
And if he's out there and it's not working, the coach needs to be able to take him off. I think he can definitely contribute to this team's success in the tournament, but I think he can't just be the focal point and like we got to play him because he's Ronaldo. I think you got to talk to him. You got to put all the ego aside and say, look, we're trying to get the trophy at the end of this. Whether you play a lot, play a little, score a lot, score none, you're here on the team. Even if it's just mainly, motivating bench locker room capacity. I think that the coach just needs to be brave enough to not put it all on Ronaldo.
For sure.
Which I feel like we've seen in the past where it's like, well, it's Ronaldo, throw him out there and, he'll find something, which he often does. But I think that's also been their downfall at points where it's not working and they don't want to take him off. And yeah, so I think France will implode a little bit. I think there's Mbappe is just on a different level of like ego these days that it's going to cause problems, I think. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun either way, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, if we're going deep in the rankings though, I kind of want to see like a Ivory Coast make a resurgence.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They were pretty sick back in 2010 when they had Drogba. It'd be cool to put them on the map again because I feel like a lot of people, the new generation of watchers, have no idea who Ivory Coast even is.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't tell you maybe one or two players on their team right now, but it's I'd like to see some relevance again from that squad. Plus, they have a sick kit.
Always.
Elephant's always on it. So
yeah.
All right, we hit our hour, Chad. Great talk. I didn't think we'd get to the hour mark with with all our topics here, but we did it. So June 11th, World Cup starts. I'm thinking we do the Survivor Pick'em live on Discord.
Sure.
Maybe Wednesday night, and then we prepare for Thursday, and then Friday night USA versus Paraguay. Get your bingo sheets out.
Yeah, here we go.
World Cup 2026. Didn't think we'd make it, but here we are.
Well, it's not here yet, so hang on.
Okay, we got 10 days. 10 days to hopefully lock everything in. All right, Chad. It's been a pleasure, as always. Hooligans Pitch. We're out.
Peace.